when you start your live, it takes more or less 15 minutes for people to receive notifications that you are live, or people who are just browsing YouTube at that time, those who receive your emails, those who look at your tweets, those who look at different places to know that your live has begun. So if you start your live just by talking, like after soon as like, oh, we live, let's go, blah, 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 and you start like this, most of the people who arrive 10 or 15 minutes late, they miss the beginning of the show. So that's why I used to put 1 minute of just the sushi roll logo on the black screen for 1 minute, and then I would start some music for one song, and at the last minute of the song I start the intro. And after starting the intro, at the end of the song, when the show is about to start in a minute, I start playing the instrumentals that you hear in the back in a playlist that is looping randomly. But my problem personally was that when somebody watched the replay, I was asking myself, do they realize that the show has started? But because there's no sound, etc. So I decided to change my intro a little bit and start the music directly when the live begins. So the new intro is 1 minute of the logo plus the song that starts like 2 seconds after the show begins. And when there's 1 minute left from the song, now there's the countdown. Instead of being a 3-minute countdown, it's now a 5-minute countdown. And then I play another song, and then I start the instrumentals and I start the show. It gives more time for people to come to your live stream. So when you do a live stream, always get this in mind. Imagine you're doing a live stream of 15 minutes, for example. Let's say you just want to do a 25 minutes show, and you want to talk about just one subject for 25 minutes every day. Most of your people will arrive between 10 to 15 minutes. So imagine you start talking straight. By the time they arrive, there's only 5 to 10 minutes left, and then the show is over, and then they have to watch the replay. So the solution here is always to have a little intro, put a little bit of music or something, whatever you want to do, or you can just be there with a countdown. For example, you can for example, let me show you. You can, for example, start a countdown of 10 minutes and put it like this in front of you, and you like, yeah, and the show didn't start yet, but people see you, they know that something is going on, but the show has not started. So you can put some music in the back like this, or you can not say nothing, just say it's the intro, do your test, to say hi to the people that are coming, but you don't start your thing before it starts for real. It's like a pre-show, and this permits that everybody that is discovering your show to come during the show. But the way I do it is like I have my whole setup that I created, but it's an advice for you if you want to start your own show. So yeah, thank you. Shadaware.com. You can get this, but I'm feeling hot. I should have put a t-shirt. I'm telling you, it's not that cold outside. Hi from South America. Lovely. Where are you in South America? Saruhoshi World. Where are you in South America? I would love to know. It's gonna be Macron Le Pen, just as everybody kind of knew, but people were trying to pretend it would be something else. Elise boys, how are you? I hope you're doing good. Actually, this morning, I put my alarm at 7:30 a.m. and I actually opened my eyes before my alarm, which happens a lot to me. At 7:26, my eyes were open. It was the dark, my wife and daughter, they love to sleep with the sound of the rain, so they watch a lot of those videos that play just rain sounds. And I was just there, listening to the sounds of the rain, and I said to myself, since I'm awake and I'm about to leave the house to go vote in 4 minutes, let me just unplug the alarm so I don't wake up everybody. And of course, I fell asleep. The sound of the rain just like. I then went to. What did I do after that? I think I woke up at 8 p.m. Took a super quick shower. Around 8:20, I was on my way out. Took the Uber, arrived at the voting so that the French embassy in Lisbon. I arrived there at 8:40. There was not too many people, but I think on the second round, I probably make sure I arrive at 7:50 so I can just wait for them to open the door, get in, vote, and be done. But like, it was like some early birds, but it was not the queue like 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I went to vote in the afternoon, and like, it was the whole street, then round the block to the corner, and that, like, nah. I think last year I did 1 hour of queuing first outside, then another 30 minutes of queuing inside to be able to vote. This year I probably did 25 minutes outside. So I was just listening to a podcast. I was listening to Joe Budden, and then I met a very nice French guy who we had a conversation, and then queuing fast. I arrived. There was 2 lines, names A to M and then M to Z. I was on M to Z. I went to the guichet, put my envelope in, and then it was taking me straight to the door. And then it was done. I voted. So I think the temperature was around 11 degrees. And there was a lot of fog, and instead of calling an Uber, I just said to myself, I want to go back home by trottinette, by scooter. So you have to understand how. Let me show you. Let me go to Google Maps. You have to understand how Lisbon is. So this is Lisbon. The place where you vote, the French embassy, I think it's here. It's here, around here. So I was here after voting in that small street. I think it's that street. So then I just went down, arrived in front of the tarmac market, and then here you're in front of the water in Kaysha. And I just took I rent a scooter here, and then I decided to do all this in front of the water, all this until I arrived to Braço de Prata, and then past Parque das Nações, and this is where I live. This is the bridge Vasco da Gama. I live around here in this neighborhood. So I did all this at, I think, 9 a.m. It took probably 30 minutes, 35 minutes. It was just a little cold for my hands, but I just sometimes I invent problems like this when I could just call the Uber, but I was just like, hey, listen, I just voted, let's go. And yeah, it was cool. You know how we do. Oh, blooder. Listen, somebody sent me a video yesterday of somebody listening to my music. I don't remember what song of mine, but it was somebody playing my song very loud in Cayenne, and there was a sign that I even forgot that road, but it was written Route de Baduel, and I was like, oh, Baduel, oh. Listen, I have so many memories. Like, I lived the whole 1 year in Cayenne, and that's where I recorded my first album. It's really a place that I call home, and it's been like 9 years that I haven't been there. So when I saw written Route de Baduel, it just brought so many memories to me, and I was like, you know what, I really have to decide myself and go spend a week in Cayenne. I don't need a show. I just need to just go and practice my Creole a little bit, because it's starting to be rusty, but mola. Well, you know, yeah. Listen, I would say, like I said last time, if we had Le Pen president, I would still applaud France for having a woman president, because there's never been a woman president. So, you know, it would be a start. And yeah, you know, we'll see who wins. She can win. She can win, because they really are 50-50 right now. So there was a lot of hate against Macron right now because of everything that happened during the yellow vest, and then after the COVID. A lot of people are feeling that, yeah, he was a little too young for the job. A little people are feeling that. Now, is it enough for people to not go and vote, or to vote for Le Pen? We'll see. Listen, I live in Portugal, so what actually matters to me more is when the Portuguese vote for who is the president and what are going to be the laws, and they don't really even touch me actually, like, because, you know, I have such a different life, and it's where I live does, like, my revenue doesn't really matter compared to where I live. It's just how much I can spend compared to where I live. So I have a pretty special life, but then some day-to-day rule might, of course, interest me in terms of taxations, in terms of those things. But I really understand the people who whoever is a government that will affect their real day-to-day life, the people for who it really matters. I'm a pretty privileged person, so I don't think her at the helm, or even Zemmour, would really change my life personally. But that's just for me. A lot of people are so emotional about those things. They all believe that it would be the end of the world if one of them won. I don't think so. But that's me.